But hey, guys, I'm excited for you guys to hear from this next Royal Ambassador. He's going to take 10 minutes and give you his best. He's going to take 22 years. He's going to bring it down into the next 10 minutes, load it up, take lots of notes, soak up his knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the stage Royal Ambassador, Mr. Anthony Powell.
Hello, everybody. How is Vemma? All right, well, I've got 10 minutes, and I'm going to do my best to make 20 minutes, 10 minutes. So, first of all, thank you for all coming here and just making this the best event possible. BK and the Braco family, let's give it up for them, guys. Unbelievable. All the leadership that has been on the road grinding the last 12 months, let's give it up to the leadership. Come on, let's hear it. There's so many names that are not mentioned that are literally doing home meetings and on the phones and doing all the things that are giving us the opportunity to be here today. So we thank you too. It's just an amazing time, and you know, it brings me back, as BK said, 22 years ago when I entered a company at 100 million. And our founder said, we're going to 1 billion. And we said, what herbs are you smoking? We haven't even done 200 million yet. And he said, listen, get on my train or off my track. We're going to 1 billion, period. So, I'm going to tell you some things these men and women taught me that really got me to be the #1 producer, #1 recruiter, #1 meeting doer, all the things that I had to become that person before I got the check. You want to know what that is? No? All right. So here's #1. So many of you guys are talking about BMWs and Mercedes-Benz and all the bling-bling watches and all this nonsense. The first thing you got to do is you got to be a product of the product. Write that down. That's #1. You need to be more proud of walking around with a Verve can than what's on your wrist. Okay? That's what you got to do. Now listen, the bling bling comes over a period of time. You can have all that. But the #1 thing you got to get down is you got to be the product of the product. You got to be sampling people. You got to be proud of what you're representing. So write that down, the product of the product. #2, this is a part that I had a big struggle with in the beginning because I watched so many other people crush it, and I was sucking wind. I had to become the #1 prospector on my team. Meaning, I had to have the most people in the seats at the meetings. I had to have the most people I was closing on the phone. And guess what? I wasn't. And I'd sit in these meetings, and I'd watch person after person rank advance, and guess who wasn't? Me. And my mentor took me aside, and he said, AP, listen, you're a good seat filler. We love you for that, right? Because we don't want empty seats at the meeting. However, the reason why you're not the #1 person is because you don't invite enough people. You need to get down the ratio of how many invites do I need to get one person to sign up or to show up. Invite to show up. You got to get that down. The second thing was, how many people that show up sign up? And if you don't have that written down, you don't know how good or bad you really are. So when I started to write down, it's called historical data or history, when I really started to notice what my numbers were, I wasn't competing against the guy or gal to the left or right of me. I was in control, because if it took me 10 invites to get one person to show up, I had to go look in the mirror. My way of talking, the way that I made people feel, did not want to show up. So guess what I went and worked on? How to make people feel. How to make people do things that normally they would never do, which was show up to a meeting. So you got to get that down. That's what I did. Second thing was how many people was I closing at the meeting. Now, here's what our numbers were in Smurbilife, okay? You talk to 10 people, you get two signups. That was Smurbilife numbers. Talk to 2, you get talk to 10, you got 2 signups. That's what we did. And we got filthy, stinking rich doing that. But what we didn't do was hope and pray that people showed up. We got really good, and we would sit down and do what's called a celebrate and fix with all of our guys. Now you do it on Uvu and Skype at night, right? Back then, we all got together once a week in a meeting, and we'd go over our numbers. See, because who you're competing with is who's in the mirror every morning when you wake up. You're not competing with the guy or gal on Instagram or Twitter. You know, it's great inspiration, good story, good for them. It's not you. You are the only variable that's going to make it. You are the one that has to get the job done. You're the one that's got to get up. You're the one that's got to stay out late. You're the one that's got to be the person to move forward and be that person that moves every single day. And you know what? After I got my closing ratio down, which was my prospecting, number 3 was, then all of a sudden, I started developing leaders. So number 1, you got to be a product of the product. Number 2, you got to be the best prospector. Now, here's what I mean by best prospector. I see this, you guys, some of you making mistakes. You have meetings, and your guys have more meetings have more people at the meetings than you do. Don't let your people dictate your check. You dictate your check. Okay? So, once I got down prospecting, the third thing was teaching people to do what I did. See, if you don't get this down up front, you're going to teach people how not to do it. See, if you don't get down how to invite and how to close at a meeting, and you don't have enough people at the meeting, then guess what your people are going to duplicate? Not much. You're going to have a flat check. Your check's going to go up and down. You're going to get someone that's hot, that's going to go boom and just go crazy, and there you are with no skill set. Don't let someone dictate your check. You run your check. Someone wants to drop out, there's the door. Right? Someone wants to go with you, they feel that you're going to the next level. They feel it. And that's why you got to get this down now, because what you don't want to do is when we get to 1 billion and you were a seat filler. Now, it's okay to be a seat filler and drink all the products. We love product consumers, right? But you're not here just for that. You're here to how to get a check, right? You want a check, right? All right, so the third thing is building leadership. Leadership is where the residual income comes from. How do you build leadership? You become the product of the product. Secondly, you got to be the master prospector. Thirdly, you develop leaders by teaching them to do what you do. Comprende? Residual income comes from those 3 things. And you can walk away from your business and go do something else if you've built it this way. Or you're going to be on the plane over and over and over and over, 5 cities, 10 cities a day. Oh, you're going to get worn out, beat up, and your check's going to fall apart. You may have a $100,000 check today, but you're going to have a $4,000 check tomorrow if you don't build leaders. See what I'm saying? Number 4, it comes down to you. When you get up and look in that mirror, right, and you brush your teeth, hopefully you do, and you're looking in the mirror, you may have just come off the most, and this is what Jim Rohn used to tell us all the time, you've got to discipline your disappointments. There's going to be times where it's not going to work for you. There's going to be times where you're going to have to talk to people that have already said no to you, and you got to do it again. And you got to do it again. But what you got to do is you got to set and lead by the example that you're going with or without anybody else, and people are going to immediately start being attracted to that, and before you know it, a year is going to go by, and you're going to be at whatever that is, that position you've chose to do, because I don't know what you're going to go prospect. Me, someone said do 10 people a month, I did 20. That's just the way I am. So if you're going to do 3, 4, 5 people, sign up 10 people, do what you got to do. But the things you got to get down, if you leave this event and get nothing but this, you've got to make a decision to lock the door, throw away the key, and realize that we're going to $1 billion with or without me or you, and why not be you, right? Right? So, I've got 27 seconds. I just want to say this. Listen, first of all, I had over 1,000 Facebook questions. Sorry I can't respond to 1,000 questions in 2 days. I will respond to everybody. But listen, I just told you what I would tell you on Facebook. Where you need to really understand when the theme of the weekend says all in, BK wants $40 million a month. You need to stand up and march and get that done this year, guys. Are we in or not? All right, well, listen, thank you very much. You guys have a great weekend. Bye for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Anthony Powell.
Good job, brother.